Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick. It is Sunday, January 4th, just before lunchtime. I've had a lovely, quiet, crafty morning. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and welcome back if you've been here before. I've had quite a few new subscribers because of Vlogmas in December, so hello, welcome. We're going to have some crafty chat today. This is going to be a regular long-form podcast, probably an hour and a bit of crafty chit-chat because I have been up to quite a bit of things. Yeah, so as I said, if you're new here, I'm on the east coast of Canada. I live here with my husband, Brad. We are happily empty nesters. Our two children are grown up and out of the house, which allows me more time to craft and enjoy my yarny existence. I design sock patterns that are for sale on Ravelry and Love Crafts. And I'm a bit of a sock nerd. If you haven't been here before, my FOs will definitely confirm that for you. As I said, Sunday, January 4th, it is freezing out there. I am staying inside all day because it was minus 21 Celsius when we woke up this morning. It's beautiful, bright sunshine. I'm filming today with no artificial light, which it's winter in Canada, so that's quite amazing. So I've got the window here, so I'm kind of turned a little bit, so hopefully not too many shadows. I don't even think I need my ring light. The colors look really good. So we are going au naturel today. So I will put a screen here everywhere you can find me online. I am Knit Sip Happy everywhere. There will be chapters and links below for show notes. So if you need any information, just check everything down below. It should be there. If I've missed anything, just give me a holler and I will fix that. Today's episode is being brought to you by water because it is not the afternoon yet. And while I'm not doing a dry January, I am taking part in a damp January, mildly moist January. I'm definitely not enjoying wine every day of the week like I did over the holidays, but I will still be enjoying it 3 or 4 days a week. Damp, not dry. So speaking of Vlogmas, if you watched, some of these projects will be familiar to you. You will have seen them already. But if you didn't, then this is all going to be new. I have quite a few things to show you. An alarming amount of acquisitions, because apparently I didn't shop for the first 8 months out of the year and I piled it all into the last. And I blame my craft room. So I should mention too, the outro for this video, I'm going to give you a little tour of the craft room. Again, if you were here for Vlogmas, you will have seen that already. But if vlogs aren't your thing and you didn't partake in Vlogmas, then that craft room tour will be at the end for you if you're interested. All right, what I'm wearing my Stockholm slipover, second version. I've got the round neck version here. This is using a fingering single ply yarn from, oh goodness, she doesn't die anymore. I'll put it up on the screen. And some mohair, a gray mohair. I will have the project page linked below if you'd like any details. But Brad has got the furnace roaring today to try and warm up the house, and my craft room, which is quite a small room, has a vent in it, which I have plugged, but it is a little toasty in here, so I thought a full sweater was a little overkill today, and I didn't want to drag out one of my summer knit t-shirts, so it's vest day today. Let's get on to some actual knitting, shall we? So the first couple of FOs were gifts, so I just have pictures of them. The incognito socks that I was knitting as a surprise gift for a friend were received on Christmas Day. Both her husband and another knitty friend were very helpful in keeping the secret and allowing me to mail those over to PEI and get those under the tree for my friend Jeanette, who makes wonderful jewelry, and she has a line of knitting jewelry. I'll have her website linked below. Oh yes, and I have my ring on as well. She did this one for me as well. The other thing that I was working on last time I was here was a simple thing scarf. So I completed, I can't remember if I was still working on the first one, but I completed 2 of those in the same colors for gifts for Christmas. I was working on the second one into December, but that was fine. It was a nice, easy, repetitive knit and just perfect, semi-brainless for December knitting. If you've been around here before, you know I have a rule. I do not gift knit in December. It just happened this year that I did, but it certainly wasn't stressful, and they were both easy. They were easy projects to finish up and get out to the recipients. So the only other FOs that I have are socks, and they are very heavily Lay Family yarn socks. They are, just looking at project bags, wondering if I forgot something. I received the Lay Family Yarns sock advent, which means I had 4 packages that I opened the 4 Sundays of Advent. So the first one that I opened was, move my notes out of the way. The first pair of socks that I finished, I was started knitting on, I believe it was November 29th or 30th. I can't remember, whatever the first Sunday of Advent was. This was the first yarn. So it's a zebra, as Lay Family Yarns calls it, or marl yarn, as I know it as well. So these look a little baggy because I wore these over Christmas. I pulled them out of the sock laundry hamper. So, using contrast for the toe and the heel, I used my Lake Ontario sock pattern that has these great V's and eyelets just to kind of move that stripe so you can see how it works in the vanilla, but also how it moves. So let me show you the yarn. I have the project bag here. I used this great project bag that was a gift from Tracy at the Wool and Wishes podcast with these cute mushroom capped hedgehogs. I thought with the red, I don't have a lot of red necessarily in my stash. So this was a Gavin and Stacy themed colorway, and specifically Nessa. So, oh, what's occurring? Blah, 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 blah. I can't do a Welsh accent for the life of me, but I love it. So I have quite a bit of yarn left. I haven't weighed this. It's probably 45-ish grams of the main color and then a little nugget of the contrast. So I will probably make up minis for these. I've got a mini swap coming up in February. So I'll probably make up minis with the main color and then just put the contrast into my stash. So this is going to be, I have huge piles everywhere. So I have a pair. These can go back into the laundry hamper now. Week 2 of the Lay Family Yarns sock advent was themed after the movie The Holiday, which is one of my Christmas favorites, I have to be honest. So it was The Holiday, and this is, got my hair on it, a sock blank. So this is a single sock blank. This is what's left. And if you've been here before, you know I love knitting from sock blanks because you never know how the color is going to disperse. I had a lot of questions over Vlogmas about knitting from a sock blank. So basically it is and I did answer it there, but I'll answer it here in case you weren't here. It is a piece of knitted fabric, machine knitted fabric, and then you just pull a knit off of it. So the color disperses very differently depending how the dye is placed. So I will show you the finished socks. So this is week 2. And I just finished this pair, I believe on New Year's Day or maybe the 2nd of January. My Twixtmas period, Archie was with us until New Year's Eve, so it was quite a busy few days because he's quite high demand. But Brad was working, so it was a lot of dog walks and, you know, dog enrichment doodads and just hanging out with Archie and doing some crafting. But once he left on the 31st, my crafting got serious. I'll show you what I got up to. Anyway, finished pair of socks. So I believe this was sock 1. Here. Because the color, it got darker, I think, on the second sock. So you can see they are sisters, not twins, with the color disbursement. And I just love seeing the way they work out. So this is my Titty Gaga sock pattern that I launched. I believe this one wasn't 2024. So in every April, I design a sock pattern, and it's a fundraiser for breast cancer research in Canada. So this one has really fun motifs down the front. We love a circular boob motif, and then some nipples going down the side and up the back. So these just finished blocking and are ready to go into my stash. And the leftover sock blank will also go into my stash. I'm like, where is it? I threw it over my shoulder. There's less of this one where I didn't have contrast, so maybe 30 grams. So I'll see whether I put that into minis or whether I do a pair of shorties or something with it. Just kind of roll it up and put it back into the yarn band, and it'll go. There's a bin up there that has my leftover sock blanks and various things. My Christmas Eve cast on this year, I always cast on a pair of socks on Christmas Eve, and I decided to do another Lay Family Yarns cast on. When I had received my sock advent from Kelly, I had also placed a cheeky order so that it didn't have to travel across the ocean alone, and ordered some other bits and bobs, one of which was this glorious DK sock set called Bottle Brush Christmas Trees. So this is merino boucle yarn, and then a superwash merino nylon blend for the main color. And I just loved that so much, that combination. Oh, I've just thought of something I've forgotten. I'll go get that in a second. And I pulled out a project bag from my stash, not because it was Christmassy, but because the colors were so perfect together. So this is from a Blueberry Fields, a great bag maker here in Canada. And this was very kindly sent to me as a gift. Thank you, Monique. So this is my Christmas Eve cast on pair. The joy of a DK sock, goodness, my hair is everywhere. The joy of a DK sock is that it is very fast. So I have adapted my crooner sock pattern to skip the embroidery motif in here. And I did this as garter stripes, not stockinette, just to play with the boucle texture. And I adjusted it for DK sock count, which is easy because this texture repeat is 4 stitches. So it's easy to manipulate into whatever sock count you like. Yeah, so they are finished and squishy and soft and delightful. I will talk more about the crooner socks in design chat. They were launched in December. They were the pattern for the Lay Family Yarns regular 4-week advent. They were the week 4 pattern. So I was able to release the pattern just before Christmas, and I will show you those in design chat. But this is my DK version. If you have the crooner pattern and have any questions about converting it to DK, just reach out to me. If you can't figure it out, I said it's a simple 4-stitch texture, so super easy to make fit into a 44, 48, 52 standard DK sock number. Do I need the sock blocker anymore? Quite possibly. Okay. So, FOs. Christmas Eve cast on. That's it for FOs. As I said, it was very sock heavy and it was very Lay Family Yarns heavy because those were the yarns I was opening and casting on immediately. I will show you the whip for the week 3, which is, crooner socks. So this was, as I said, this was week 3. And it was a sock set based on a Rose's chocolate box, chocolate tub. And the speckles in this main color are beautiful. And I think it's a different sock base. Yeah, 55% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 20% mohair is what the main color is. And the mini was just a regular 75-25. And it does have a different, it's a bit hairier than a traditional 75-25. I can definitely see the mohair vibe in there. It's lovely to knit with. I'm really enjoying it. So, this is where I'm at. So I decided, because it was a sock set, I decided to cast on the crooner pattern, which was the pattern that I just launched. And so again, it's the same texture I just showed you, but instead of the garter stripes, they're stockinette stripes and just little hand embroidered snowflakes. Or you could do a summer version and make them flowers. I was talking to somebody and said, goodness, wouldn't it be amazing with like a variegated florally pinks and blues and greens, and then do the stripes in one of those colors and then have variegated little flowers instead of snowflakes. So yeah, really enjoying this. I've just started the heel flap while Brad was driving me to work yesterday. So really enjoying this. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I'm thinking, I want to talk to you about it some more, but we'll talk about it during design chat. So yeah, the crooner, this is the first one. It kind of has fallen off the radar. It's my only take along. Well, no, it's not. It's the only take along project I had remembered that I had. By take along, I mean easy driving, easy sit and chat, not have to think too much about it project. I'm just going to put one of these sock blockers down as quietly as I can. The other Christmas thing that I was working on is in my little Bobbins Fairy Lights bag. I got this years ago. It was a kit with Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade when Danny was making bags. And so this was my Stripe a Day sock in December. This is from Gauge Dye Works, and this actually was a Halloween countdown. I picked this up in Knit City, Vancouver. And I'm not really a fan of October and no, that's not it. I like October. I'm not a fan of Halloween. But I really like the colors in this. So I saved it for myself for Christmas because I knew I didn't have a Stripe a Day sock for December, and I really like doing it. So I cast on toe up with the contrast, and now these stripes are very subtle. They're only 3 or 4 rows, but boy, is it effective. I loved knitting it. So I just carried the stripes up into the ribbing because the mini is, was it 25 grams? It was 25 grams. I probably would have been okay to do the cuff in the contrast, which is this pretty purple, which is falling apart in the bottom of my bag. But I have, obviously this is just a sock tube. There is no heel in there yet. I have on the first sock just cut in the gap for the heel. And now I need to have a half an hour of thinking time. I am putting, so in my short row, no, in my afterthought heel, I started adding in short row gussets, which makes a little triangular piece in the corner. So when you're wearing a sock, if you have a wide foot and a high instep like I do, afterthought heels do not fit me very well. But I like to knit them because they work well with self-striping yarn. So in order to get the afterthought heel that goes in here to fit my foot better and not stretch out this front of the sock too much, I add in little triangular short row gussets in here. And then I do my 5 plain rounds of knitting, and then I do my decrease on a rounded toe. So an afterthought heel is fundamentally a toe. So I am knitting a round toe to use as the heel of the sock and putting in those little triangular pieces in the corners just to give me a bit more. They give me about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch on each side, which then makes the front of the sock not distort too much because the heel is too shallow. I'm just giving myself extra depth in the heel. I am pondering doing a pattern this year, which includes the way I do an afterthought heel, including the short row gussets and the extra rounds and using a rounded toe to create a shape that fits my heel. There's a few reasons people don't like to do afterthought heels. One of them is they don't want to cut their knitting. That's an easy thing. That's an easy thing to get over. Trust me, I was there and didn't want to do it, but did it and I loved it. And then realized the heel doesn't fit properly, my foot. So making these little adjustments. So if you're interested, let me know. I may, my knitting schedule for the year is already developing quite quickly, and which is super exciting, but has made me think about my life decisions over the last week and a half when I could have been doing some design stuff, but I completely did fun, entertaining knitting instead. That's okay. That's what it's for. Twixmas is an imaginary time where responsibilities don't exist. For me, I'm lucky to have that. Our small business is closed between Christmas and New Year's. I had to go into work twice, but that was mostly just paperwork and bookkeeping and accounting. Ugh. The least favorite part of running a small business. Okay. Let's come away from socks for a minute and talk about another project I worked on over December, which is my crochet jelly roll blanket, which has rapidly outgrown this gorgeous bag from Ginger Snap, from Kim and Colin at Ginger Snap. This was the fabric that inspired one of their yarn collections at Knit City, Montreal in 2025. And I did a sock design, a collaboration with them. So they very kindly gifted me this bag, which was great in the beginning, but now, as you can see. So this is my crochet jelly roll blanket. Full disclosure, I have woven in 0 ends. And I'm not doing ends the way Kay Jones, who is the designer of the crochet jelly roll blanket. I'm not doing the color changing where she recommends it because I am doing scraps and want to use all of them. I don't want to be stopping at the end of a row and snipping off however many yards of yarn that is. So I've kind of created my own way of doing it. And I was having ends on the front and the back. Now I figured out a way to get them onto the back, so that will make my life easier. But so through the month of December, I make myself, or earlier in 2025, I made myself a scrappy advent. I have saved packaging from previous advents that I've had, and I just make up 10 gram minis and chuck them into the boxes, the bags, and then put them in my closet and forget about them until December. So for the month of December, or for the first 24 days of December, I was opening up 2 packages and getting 2 little nuggets of yarn and crocheting them into this blanket. Some of them were my yarn, some of them were from a swap. So it's going to be very hard to show. I'm working on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th, 7th. I'm working on the 7th strip, so this is complete. So it is incredibly scrappy with no color management at all. Brad actually has claimed this one. He is normally not a fan of any kind of knitted crochet things. He finds crochet things a mystery because I'm not looking at the... Look at the camera, Nancy. Episode 59, and I'm still making the same mistake I did on episode 1. He's not normally a fan of crochet because it's holey, but this is it's a denser fabric. So this is using a linen stitch in strips. And what I did was I held the yarn double. So I've got some self-striping yarns. I've got solid yarns. I've got variegated yarns. They are all fingering of some sort. Some are thicker, some are thinner. But yeah. So this was really fun to work on over December because it wasn't too much brain power. And once you get going on this, it's quite easy to figure out. So this is the front of the blanket, and you can see I've got ends, but I'm just going to pull them to the back with a needle and then weave them in appropriately. The last couple of stripes, I kind of figured out what I needed to do for my ends to keep them in the back. Before this, I was just gaily changing colors and not really paying attention. So yeah, this is going to be kind of percolating in the background. I'm using a lot of commercial self-striping, bits and bobs from my stash. And yeah, very, very enjoyable. I'm going to be repeating some of the colors just because I have enough of them to be able to do that. So like I said, some of them were scraps from other people and some of them were mine. So I have more of this. I've already put it in twice. I've got lots more of this one. So I'll put another bit of that in there, further on in the blanket, but highly recommend the pattern. Very enjoyable, very addictive, just flying off my hook. How much attention it will get going forward, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because there are things that need to be, that are going to take up my crafting time. This has got to get finished. These have been hanging around since I went to Europe, late August, early September. This is a pair of using my hand spun socks, just with a rib column up the side for a little bit of interest. The second sock is just past the heel. This is for accountability. They will be finished before you see me again in 2 to 3 weeks because I'm not carrying this forward anymore. I had completely forgotten about it, found it today when I was digging through setting up to record. So I will finish this. And that's what I meant earlier when the crooner socks, I didn't think I had anything easy, brainless, driving about, sitting, chatting, knitting. I could have been knitting on these. They will be finished. They will be finished. The other thing that is hanging about that kind of got ignored over December that I would also like to finish, it would be a great gift knit for next year, or this year, goodness. Yes, Happy New Year. It's January 4th of 2026. I have worked on this some more. This is my flannel crush cowl by Samantha Guerin. Put a picture in here. This is using the same hand spun as the bright green one that I had showed you before, but using a blue background. So I had worked on this in November and then December arrived and I promptly put it away. So these are the 2 yarns. So the light blue is a sport weight, Woolstead sport weight, and this is hand spun. delightful project. Really enjoyable. Just need to get back to it and finish it. It's probably gotta, if I worked on it, who was I listening to the other day that was talking about finishing, giving projects 1 day a week and getting them finished? Can't remember. Oops. Somebody. I spent a lot of Twixtmas catching up with vlogs, vlogmases, and podcasts that I hadn't had time to watch in December. Which was delightful. I was sitting in my craft room I've got a TV up here that I can watch podcasts or Netflix or whatever I want. The other thing, I can't remember if I showed you, I think I might have showed you this because I took this to Wicked. Yes, I'm sure I did at the end of November. This is movie knitting. I took myself to the movies on my own in December, early December, to see Merrily We Roll Along, which is a Stephen Sondheim musical. They had done a pro shot of it, a recording of it, and it was out in movie theaters for 2 or 3 days. So on a Sunday afternoon, early in December, I can't remember when, early in December, I took myself to Merrily We Roll Along, and I knit on this all the way through it and made a seriously good dent in this lovely Wicked sock from Area 51, who is a Canadian self-striping dyer. These are 50 gram skeins, so Sam and I are going to have a matching pair. I'm going to use either the green or the black, or maybe some gray for heels, toes, or from toes and heels. I'm going to do the cuff in the main color. Oh, I think I might have done a black stripe at the top, which was unnecessary. But anyway. Anywho. So that is only going to get worked on at the movies. Probably. And I don't go to the movies very often. So I kind of pulled these out of my stash for the contrasts. I'm just going to shove it all into my lovely telephone box bag. And these are from Zigzag Stitches, and she no longer makes these. But I'm super happy to have one in my stash. Oh. The last two are garments. So this one you have seen before. This is the Housed cardigan by Skein Knits, which I'm knitting in Rama Phenol PT2 in the colorway 4122. This is my first time knitting with Rama. This is a bottom up design, which is not normally a me thing. This beautiful lace, which is a lot easier to show you now that I'm in the stockinette section. And this is a steeked cardigan. So there is the steek section right there, running down between those two lace motifs. So I haven't steeked in a while. Uh-oh, just lost one of my donuts. I heard something hit the floor and one of my donuts just came off the needle, so now I have to be careful. I have no idea where that went. And I will find it later in the detritus that's all over the floor of the craft room. So I love this green. I have a couple of black dresses that I want a short cropped cardi to go over. But I kind of put it on hold because I'm fast reaching a point where I have to make a decision on splitting for sleeves and doing all the engineering up. And I just kind of I just didn't have the brain power. And so I just kind of hibernated it. So I did work on it a little bit in November after I saw you. But then it just kind of has been hanging out mostly. Because if you're here in Vlogmas, I had plans to cast on the Christmas Bell by Isabel Kramer with this green and cream yarn. And then Vera Valimaki released her gingerbread sweater in December, and I was obsessed. So I had to cast it on, and my friend Deborah had gifted me a skein of her new confetti cloud base, which is fluffy and neps. This is the colorway Minty. I don't think this is in her online shop yet. Life has been a little lifey for her lately, so just keep an eye out on her shop, or as soon as I know it's in there, I will share here and on Instagram. But this is Confetti Cloud. It's a new base with these neon neps. Oh, cover your face. There we go. And that is what the color work is worked in. I think Vera's pattern is using a Surrey alpaca. And then I also had a skein of a merino bamboo from Deborah. It's a little greener than it's showing on the screen, more of a teal. It's just showing up a little bluer. But I cast this on and oh, it's delicious. I had my first try on a couple of days ago. I got a few inches past sleeve separation and wanted to just do a try on and see if I was going to do any of my A-line increases. I have a video I will link here of how I modify my knits for my A-line pear-shaped body. So I do a couple of different things with this already. I moved the sleeves back. My bust makes my front measurement bigger than my back measurement. So whenever I do a yoke, even a raglan these days, I'm adjusting the placement of the sleeves to give me more stitches across the front and less stitches across the back. So if you go into my Ravelry project page, I have a stitch count from front to back. Oh, I just found the donut with my foot that came off my house cardigan. There it is. So if you check the Ravelry project page, I have put all of my modifications in there. I did an extra set of short rows at the back because I like my neck to be higher at the back and the front. This is quite a high ribbing, but it does fit really nicely and it's going to block beautifully. This merino bamboo has a bit of drape to it. I haven't steamed this or blocked it or anything, but that color work is just so pretty and delicate. I did a couple of sections of ladder back jacquard at the bottom because the floats were getting quite long. So you can see the little ladders I've created for the color work just to stop the floats from pulling in. Flash my floats. And that's the back side of the color work. This project has been a joy, and now I am helical knitting with 2 strands attached because this is hand-dyed yarn. So just to avoid any color pooling or weird variegation, it always looks stripier on the camera than it is in real life. I should be knitting anyway. Oh, one more look because it's glorious. I should be knitting my Bee Mandarins. Is it Luna? I'll put it here. There's a group of us knitting this for the winter gathering in Sussex, which is in 5.5 weeks. And I have yarn for it. I'll show you a little later. But I just fell in love with this and had to cast it on. And I have 0 regrets. Okay, the other thing I will show you as far as things that I have to get on my needles is another baby set for Sam. I've got some Cascade Heritage somewhere in my acquisitions, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So as far as dream knitting goes, there's a few things in my acquisitions, and I will show you those. Spinning. Okay, I need to grab you the fiber / bobbins. I'll be right back. Okay, so I treated myself to a Bramble Ridge order. Bramble Ridge is a yarn dyer, fabric dyer out on the West Coast. I had bought some of her fiber when I was at Knit City, Vancouver, and she very kindly collaborated with me for my Wild Geese DK socks. I used her Price of Eggs colorway, which was gorgeous. Yeah, she had an update in December. I can't remember when. There was a few things in her sales section that I wanted, and there were some new colors that I wanted, so I ordered some things. And these two colorways that I ordered are quite similar. They were one of her Tour de Fleece colors. So the first one that I spun is an untreated Polworth. The tag kind of got ripped. It's called Tropical Dashel. No, Tropical Dash. No, Tropical Dashel. I spun this on my Nano 2.0. I have 3 bobbins like this. I don't know if I have any pictures of the fiber because I spun it like a madwoman. I may or may not have pictures, or may see if there's anything on her website and put them here. So I've got 2.5 bobbins of, almost 3 bobbins of this one. And then the other one is called, it's untreated, again, I wrote the tag, untreated Cormo. This is just a dash. So it's a similar color, but I think just different color saturations and on different fiber. So this is the fiber. So the Tropical Dashel also has the pinks, the mauves, the bright greens, the turquoises. The colors on this one are a little deeper. And this is the end of the 100-gram braid that I had. And this is how it's spinning up. So I will have 3 bobbins of each of these. This is my little Nano e-spinner by Dreaming Robots. I cannot recommend these spinners highly enough. I've converted quite a few friends to them. I take them out to events and let people try them, and they fall in love. So at the end of this, I'm going to ply them together because they are similar colors. I'm going to do a 2-ply. So I'm racing through this because I want to start plying and see what it looks like. So I have them set up on my desk kind of in order of bobbin 1, 2, 3 in each colorway to make sure I don't mix them up, because I want to spin them in the 1, 2, 3 to make sure the color progression is good. I just spun end to end. I did not split it off or do anything fancy. I just spun end to end to try and keep the color sections as they are. So next time, hopefully I'll be showing you some plied, almost plied yarn that I'm working on. So I'm just going to go put all this back so I don't lose. Yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to keep them set up correctly. So the only other thing in spinning, I've finished this electric slide by Fibre. Is that what it was called? I washed this and thwacked it. It's a 3-ply merino bamboo nylon. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. And it was a 150-gram braid. I just need to run this through my yarn counter and see what I've got for yardage and roll it up and tag it, skein it up and tag it. And then this is a superwash merino nylon 3-ply from Yarn Indulgences. And this beautiful tealy, bluey, greeny grays. So this is only about 80 grams, so you can see the difference in it. 150 grams, 80 grams. So I need to do my counting on these and get them skeined up and tagged and into my stash for who knows what. I love the spinning so much. The knitting is also joyous with my hand spun, but I love the spinning part of it so much. Okay, design chat. We've got a bit of a bumper episode, but I'm not going to keep you too long on this. And again, if you're not interested in socks or my designs, please feel free to skip on to the next section. So back in the spring, Kelly Lay from Lay Family Yarns reached out, and we talk a lot anyway, but she asked me if I would be interested in collaborating and doing a sock design for their advent, their 4-week advent. And I happily said yes, because yes, I will say yes to most things to do with socks and sock design. I feel so incredibly lucky to be able to be indulging in a passion of mine. And yeah, I can't believe that this is what I get to do in my off time, that I get to knit work and build this little side hustle passion and see where we get to in 2026. Who knows? If you told me 5 years ago this is what I'd be doing, I would have laughed, because the first sock pattern was only going to be a one-off. And here we are, over 30 pairs, 30 sock designs in the world later. Anyway, so this was the yarn that Kelly and Nick came up with. Beautiful blue with soft tones of mauves and pinks. Their inspiration was walking in a winter wonderland, and I instantly started humming the song, which is how we came to Crooners, because if you were here at Vlogmas, Christmas season, December, I have a retail background, and I still find it a bit of a struggle to be joyous and happy, and being in stores listening to Christmas music by rappers, screechy modern singers is just so not my vibe. I like Frank Sinatra, the Harry Connick Jr., the Michael Bublé in the more modern sense, the Nat King Cole, the Bing Crosby, hence crooner. I love the old style crooner singers. Rod Stewart doing his American Songbook, all of that is me. So when Kelly and I were talking, we were talking about using the mini in a different way. Instead of just doing cuff, heel, toe, I wanted to do something different. They meant walking in a winter wonderland, like going for their walks in the woods together, which they like to do. But I didn't want something just Christmassy. I wanted something more wintry. Or again, like I said, you could change the colors in this and totally make these little snowflakes into flowers. So there's video tutorials on how to do the little embroidery. They're just straight stitches. It's super easy. They're very stretchy. It doesn't impact the wear of the socks at all. You can skip the embroidery and just do the colored bands with the texture. The world's your oyster. But these are the Crooner socks. They are released on Ravelry and Lovecrafts now. And it was really fun in December to rediscover the joy of this pattern, because I knit these over the summer. I did the final photography in August, just as the wildfires were starting behind our house. We had some very droughty, dry summer, and there were wildfires just a couple of kilometers away from our house, and we thought we were going to have to evacuate. So it's just a flashback in time of knitting these in the late spring, and then into testing with my lovely testers. And I loved, again, like I said, finding the enthusiasm for them again, because they've been put away for months and months. I sent Kelly the pattern and the photography back in August before we went on our vacation. And I was really pleased to cast on the blue and yellow ones that I showed you earlier. So that is current patterns. I'm going to have something else coming out next week. The collaboration I did with Bombed Yarns. Sarah is the yarn dyer out of Tasmania, and I will be releasing those next week. They were her December sock club pattern. And so I'm not showing you or sharing the name or anything with those yet. I will show you them next time I'm here, but they will be out on Ravelry and Love Crafts before then. So I'll be talking about those on Instagram until I see you. I have been putting my design hat back on because the reality of the calendar turning to January is things that are already coming up that I have planned for this year. So I always launch a new pattern in February for my design anniversary. There is a new design that'll be coming in later in February, and I've decided to do another collection of columns. So this released last year and was super popular. The thought being it's just simple 8-stitch motifs that you can use in self-striping or heavily variegated colors or yarns, just to give you a little bit of detail or fun as part of the knitting process. If you have been here for a while, I am not a huge fan of vanilla socks. Ironically, doing a stockinette body or sleeves on a sweater doesn't bother me at all, but in a sock format, I end up on Instagram and not knitting. So I created this collection last year of 6 different 8-stitch columns that you can put down the sides of your sock. You could make you could combine them and make a panel across the front or down the back or whatever. Again, it's kind of a choose your own adventure to a certain degree. So I started working on that this week. I'm collaborating again with lovely Emily from Turtle Pearl Yarns. We have just picked the yarn colors. I didn't bring them in to show you. That's okay. I'll show you next time. I'll have them on the needles. So I need to get those cast on because I need to knit 6 socks for the one pattern launch. And I need to get this into testing. Toot sweet. Because following along quickly with that is a collaboration with Ginger Snap for Knit City Toronto, which is the end of March this year. It is much earlier, March 27th to 29th in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Not sure if I'm attending yet or not, to be honest. I've got to figure out logistics for work. Yeah, I'd like to go because I can stay with my brother in Kitchener and just take the GO train up, but I am uncertain yet if I'm able to go. But I am still designing the sock. I'm not showing you the yarn or showing you anything about that. It's going to be super top secret until Kim and Colin from Ginger Snap Yarns give me the go ahead. So that's ticking along in my brain that I need to get a collection of columns into testing, and then I can start working on the sample with the yarns that arrived last week. Open up that package and I was like, whew! I had no idea. I knew what the format was going to be, but I hadn't seen any of the colors or the inspiration. So Kim sent me the inspiration photo and after I got the yarn, and yeah, I'm inspired. There's a few different ways I'm thinking of going. We'll see when it gets on the needles, because it also needs to be fun, a fun knitting experience. I'm not just going to willy-nilly do patterns that require 2 cable needles or, super complicated. I like my socks to be engaging and interesting, but not so complicated that you can't remember the pattern. Mostly. A lot of them you don't even have to look at the pattern after so many repeats because you're in the groove. That's kind of my sock vibe. Not boring, not complicated, just that perfect amount of engaging, fun, keep you moving along, distraction, to keep you away from your phone, to keep you away from the world, which can be a scary place. That's the way I like my socks. So that's the way I design them. And then, of course, coming fast along that is the boob themed sock for this year. I'll be collaborating with Yarn Indulgences. Again, we're already discussing what kind of pink it's going to be, what shade of pink the yarn is going to be, and that will be for breast cancer fundraiser coming up in April, and that will be here before you know it, because time. Okay, that's the end of design chat. Would you like to see some yarn? And Fibre, would you like to see what I've bought in the last month? It's a lot. I was feeling a lot of pressure in my craft room before I renovated and put in all the extra storage. Now I've put in the extra storage and I have room. I have obviously felt the shackles loosened, and I have shopped a lot. So if acquisitions and seeing yarny things is not your vibe, you can skip along to the craft room tour at the end, or I will say goodbye to you here. I personally love a yarn haul stash. So I'm just going to pause and move things around so I can get everything up here and show you what I got. So we're going to start with Fibre, with the Bramble Ridge order that I did. A couple of friends and I placed an order. Most of it was mine. I will be completely honest with you. This is, I'm not going to last too long on anything. This is Hanui base, which is a super soft form of merino, I do believe. And this is called Mint to Be. And it's just got that sprucey green in there that you know I love. And I haven't spun with the Hanui, I think that's how it's pronounced, before. So I had to throw a skein braid of that in my stash. This is a new sock base. It's a South Down sock. 75% South Down baby doll, 12.5% alpaca, 12.5% bio nylon. I have spun with her old sock base with superwash merino nylon, and she wanted to change away and get into a non-superwash base. So this is called South Down sock, and the colorway is Mushroom Hunt. I turned it around and completely lost my mind. Yeah, it's Mushroom Hunt. So teals and golds and browns. I think that's going to be stunning. So I'll spin that 3-ply so I can see how it wears, and then knit a pair of socks and see how it wears. This was, I think, one of her yeah, it was. So this is Rambouillet silk. This was day 19 from her last advent. There is an advent, a Fibre advent, and I'm going to get one next year. My friend Lori and I, the last 2 years we've seen this, we have kicked ourselves for not doing this. We are doing it next year. Right, Lori? We're doing it. Anyway, this was in the sale bin, and it's a Rambouillet silk, and it is gorgeous with the, again, it's totally my jam. It's showing up a little blue on my screen, but it's more tealy green with the purples and blacks. Gorgeous. And then completely randomly in the sale bin, there was also an 8515 superwash merino nylon sock base in a vibrant of violet. And yes, it is. I thought quite possibly this could be something together. I have no idea what. But it was in the sale bin, and I thought, why not? It looked like it might be lonely, so. And then the rest of the goodies in this, oh, and I should. So Megan sent me a lovely note. So this is a little card that came in the order. The rest of this bag was a gift from my friend Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. Oh, and I've forgotten I still don't have the Bee Mandarines Melody Hoffman sweater name. I'll put it up here for the group knit for Sussex. These are the yarns that I'm going to use. This is Woolstead Sport and the Confetti Cloud. And I asked Deborah for a pretty pink kind of combination, rosy pink. So this one is called Nancy, and this one is called For the Love of Nancy. I don't know if that's meant in a good way or for the love of Nancy. So I think these are going to be glorious together. I haven't even swatched. I'm concerned about the gauge of this. It's supposed to be using, it's supposed to be bulky, and I'm definitely not going to be in the bulky range with these, but I don't want to change the gauge too much because this is going to be a sample for Deborah's booth when I'm not wearing it. Or I guess I should say I will be wearing it when it's not a sample in Deborah's booth. So I've got 3 skeins each of this, I do believe. And then Deborah also put in my Christmas bag some fiber. She is dyeing fiber. This is the Superwash Merino Nylon, and this is BFL. So if the Bramble Ridge order hadn't arrived, I would have been spinning one of these over the holidays. But it did, so I didn't. Okay, get rid of that one. Yes, I've got multiple bags. If you were around on Vlogmas, you will have seen I went to visit Megan at Lichen and Lace. I will put the day, the Vlogmas, and I'll have it linked below. We went for a tour at Lichen and Lace, and that was super fun. And thank you again, Megan, for letting me traipse around with my camera. I purchased this while I was there. This was was it the Sock of the Month color? I mean, if you know me, this is verdigris. I mean, this turquoisey, tealy with the rust and the slimy, sludgy greens, and yum. So this is the 80/20 sock base. It will just go into my sock stash. I had no business buying it, but the color just screamed at me. What I went to Lichen Lace for, other than the lovely tour, was to pick up some Lunenburg sweater orders. Megan had a sale, and it was in November, on her Rustic Sport, and there's a whole bunch of us that are planning to do another group knit for a Lunenburg sweater. I already have a sweater quantity of Sky, which, oh yes I do, but I don't have. I have a sweater quantity of Sky, which is this tealy undertoned, lightly variegated blue. And I needed 4 other colors to make the yoke. Ah, I knew I was going to drop it. So this is the color palette with the Sky for the mane, the dark green, pretty rosy pink, a gray, and the gold. So the colors are Pollen, Deep Sea. This was a switch out when I got there. I had picked, I think, a sprucey color. This one is just slightly bluer and deeper and more my jam. Pollen I showed you, Birch, and Rose. So those are waiting for when I want to cast on my Lunenburg sweater. No idea, but, and then I picked up multiple boxes for friends and delivered those, or had them, their friends pick them up. So that all worked out perfectly. Megan very kindly gifted me one of her tote bags, which I have managed to shove full of yarn. My friend Leanne was doing an online order, and I ordered some Cascade Heritage. Oh, that's cute. Is that balloon animal from you, Leanne? Look at that stitch marker. It's a balloon animal. Where did that come from the shop? Anyway, this is going to be cast on quickly. I've got a baby set to do. One of Sam's friends is expecting a baby girl, so I ordered this pretty pink. I will do the same baby set that I always do. I will do the Beloved Bonnet by Tin Can Knits. I will do the Drops knitted pants, and I will do the little baby socks. And I can get all of that out of one 100-gram skein. I also grabbed a navy, just because to have in my stash, either for heels, toes, and cuffs, or for a baby set. If there's ever a boy, they all seem to be girls lately. So that was... Oh yes, I got a lovely gift from one of my friends in Fredericton. This is a double sock blank from Full Moon Fibers. So this one, you pull 2 strands. So the piece of knitted fabric is double, and then you can knit your socks 2 at a time. Brilliant. Should I take? I'll take it out. I'll take it out. I love knitting socks 2 at a time this way as well. And yeah, thank you again for that. Shove back in there. It's going into my stash for now. And then I did a order with Wool Warehouse. Sam, my daughter Sam, has started crocheting and she needed a couple sweater quantities of different things, cottons, and anyway, so we were having a hard time sourcing it locally, so we went on Wool Warehouse the weekend that she was here to watch Wicked. On the Saturday night, we shopped online. I bought myself some Drops Flora. I have never knit with this yarn before. I've knit with the Drops Nord and enjoyed it. So I thought this would be a good base fingering weight yarn for a sweater. I got 7 skeins of this. 2, 4, 7 skeins of this for a future related sweater cast on. Back to Lay Family Yarns, I showed you the first 3 weeks of the sock advent. The 4th week is this gorgeous self-striping. It is Buddy the Elf. So I have not cast this on yet. It will probably wait now until next year. This year. Next Christmas. So it's a 50-gram self-striping and 20-gram mini. So that's going into stash. One more bag, guys. I know. The Wool Warehouse order, I ordered myself. I wanted to try. I've heard a lot from the English podcasters about Yarn Smith's merino sock. So I ordered this. Is a really pretty magenta. I think Fran from Franny Do Makes had done this for her vest. So that's the color. It's just a number. It's probably a name on the website, but that's the shade there. I bought 3 skeins of this. They're 100-gram, 3 balls of this. They're 100-gram balls. So this with something for color work for a yoke. I am predictable. And then I had missed going to Tracy's rolling yarn shop or unrolling yarn shop at the end of November. I was supposed to be teaching a sock heel clinic up there. I can't remember if I was here after that. I think I might have been. Anyway, I couldn't go. And Tracy was coming into town the following weekend, so I had to go and visit. She actually had to change her dates a little bit because weather in December, winter came early this year to our part of the world. But I wanted to try some Drops Fiesta. So Drops Fiesta is a DK sock yarn. So I got 2 balls of this one, color 28. I got some solid colors to pair with different things. Hang on, my bag is... I got 2 skeins of this kind of fun multicolored one. I got 2 skeins of this green and blue. I think I was thinking this one for the contrast with this green and blue. Yeah, I was. And I got 2 balls of this one. So I should probably tell you the colors, sorry. I'm trying to go fast and not bore you to tears. This is color 16. This is color 29. This is color 20. I got color 5 gray, again, just to use for heels, toes, and cuffs, or just heels and toes. And then I got some fingering weight commercial sock yarn because Tracy had like a bargain bin of $10 skeins. So this is all Diamond Select Footsie. This is color 510. Oh, love this one. This one's color 522. We went with a manly, more boring color, but will be endlessly useful in my stash. This is color 530. And then I really like this one too. This is color 526. For $10 a ball, I couldn't leave it there. I really couldn't. That's it. The yarn piggery is over. As I said, I haven't bought a lot of yarn this year because I felt like I didn't have the space. Now I've made more space and I'm just going to be filling up my cubes. No, this was a lot of fun things. We don't do Christmas gifts for each other, so a lot of this was fun, to treat myself for Christmas. I don't need an excuse. We're grown-ups. It brought me joy. It will bring me joy knitting it. And yeah. So the last thing, I don't think I have any chit chat because after Vlogmas, I feel like I chatted a lot. There was a lot of chat on Vlogmas. The only thing is that there's a couple of events coming up. So first one is the Winter Gathering in Sussex, New Brunswick. If you are in the south of New Brunswick, even a little, it's into central New Brunswick, we are having a 2-day event in Sussex, New Brunswick, where we just hang out and knit. It starts Friday afternoon. We have the room till 11 o'clock at night. There's a restaurant attached to the hotel where the space is that we knit. There's a market on Saturday. There are still some tickets available. I believe the hotel space where we're staying is full, but there's another couple of hotels in town. If you're interested in coming, reach out to me below or send me an email or comment down below and I can send you the details. This will be our 3rd year doing it, and it's one of our favorite weekends because we just get to hang out and chat. It's the best part. I love going to Fibre festivals, I do, but spending time knitting with my friends or talking to other knitters is the best part of it. That community, that social side of it, for somebody who's not very socially happy. When we're talking about yarn or I'm knitting or I'm spinning and talking with friends, 11 o'clock at night comes very quickly and it feels like we could stay there until 1 o'clock in the morning, but they want to close up the room. So that's coming up February 20th and 21st. So again, just a few more weeks. I got to get that sweater, whatever, I can't remember the name of it, on my darn needles. The other thing that we are just starting to talk about is Atlantic Yarn and Fibre Festival in Shediac. We had our first event last year. This is being run by myself, Manon from La Violette Knits, Sophie from Cozy Meadow Knits, and my friend Deborah Yarn Indulgences. We are a team of 4. And we are expanding the festival that we had last year into a 2-day event. It is going to be June 13th and 14th. So if you're planning a trip to the Maritimes from other parts of the country or the world, that would be a great weekend to be in Shediac, New Brunswick. If you are in the Maritimes, mark it on your calendar and come and spend some time in beautiful Shediac. We'll be doing a vendor call and an instructor call. We're going to have room for classes. So we'll be doing that early next week, so the beginning of January 2026. So if you're interested, you can, I'll have the link for Atlantic Yarn Fibre down below, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook. All of the updates are there as well. This feels like a lot of talking after being home and not really talking for a week. Okay, wrap it up, you crazy lady. I'm saying goodbye. Happy knitting, happy sipping, my friends, and I will see you very soon. Okay, so I still have some work I need to do, but it's fundamentally done. So the pièce de résistance is, of course, the yarn storage. I have doubled my yarn storage. I originally only had this part. So I've been able to organize things a lot better with using the bins and just to sort things out. I need to finish zhuzhing this up. This stuff that was up there was just on the 3 segments, so I need to, there's a few bits and bobs that I want to kind of put up there to finish decorating. My mum is a quilter, so I have quite a few pieced wall hangings from her. So this pansy one kind of went with the pansy cross stitch that I did years and years ago. So I thought that was a cute little grouping there on the wall. So then I've got my little seating area, lamp, candles, hand cream, This is an old chair we've had. It was my parents' that I just got a slipcover from Amazon. The fit is not, it's got the little extra shaping here. The set wasn't made for that, so it's doing okay. Yeah, it'll work. It'll do the trick. These are the beautiful sock blockers that my friend Amanda made for me for my birthday last year, I do believe, where she printed out all the pictures of my socks that I designed and kind of Mod Podged them onto these sock blocker shapes. So they had to be pride of place with my very old 1990s Les Miserables poster. Oh, might even be 80s. Yeah, late 80s. So as we come past my chair, there is a closet. We took the doors off this closet years ago when Sam was in here, and I'm tempted to hang a curtain up there, maybe. So I've got a shelf up the top here. These storage bags have out of season sweaters, except those ones they're sitting on the top. It's hard to see, it's dark. Yeah, they are big kind of outdoorsy, super woolly sweaters that I don't usually wear unless we are spending a significant amount of time outside. So yeah, these are all my summer tees. And then these bins are kind of more random. This one is my English paper piecing. This is cotton. This is random worsted bulky minis. And then this one in the corner, I think, is a couple of sweater quantities of worsted that I'll probably, plus my lichen and lace main color for my Lunenburg. And then blocking mats in the corner. Project bags need a better storage solution, but I don't know what that is yet, so I do have the bins holding them for now, but can't really see what's in there. My Ashford Kiwi 2 spinning wheel is in there. My skein winder's in the front. These are lichen and lace orders that I'm delivering to friends. And then in here is just random tote bags. I've got a couple of other blanket projects in there I haven't touched. And yeah, just general stuff. So when I'm sitting in my chair out the hallway, I get a picture of our family gallery of the kids when they were babies, when they graduated, and when Brad and I graduated. I'll wait for better light to show you those. We wall mounted a TV in the corner, so I'm able to watch my podcasts in here, which is delightful. I'm so enjoying that. Desk is a bit messy. I just hung my gorgeous Lay Family Yarns Christmas sock blank off the back of the chair to be seasonal. I have my ball winder and my Swift permanently mounted to this desk with an IKEA board at the back that I would like to have it neat and tidy and looking gorgeous, but this is a room that, yeah, that's not me. I need to accept that. And then some cross stitches. I love flower fairies. I've always loved flower fairies. I had all the books when I was a little girl. And the sweet pea one is a particular favorite. I love sweet peas. I love the smell of them, but my daughter's nickname is Sweet Pea. And then lavender over there and the yellow iris. And then just some lovely cards I've received from knitting friends over the years. I kind of keep them up there and rotate them through. Pom-poms, just hanging on the wall on a hook, because why not? Bookshelf, knitting dictionaries, some novels on the bottom, project storage, buttons, just a random assortment of crap. I've got a couple more bins here if I need them. If not, I'll flatten that out and store them in the closet for now. This is my little spinning cart for my Dreaming Robots wheels. So my Nano is hanging out on the desk right now because I don't have room for it. It normally lives on the top layer here with my big one, but where I'm plying, I just find it easier to keep the singles standing up there as well. But the second layer has all of my empty bobbins. The bottom has cords and chargers, my Lazy Kate. So that is it, my new happy space. I am, as I said, incredibly happy with it. I just need to do a few bits and pieces, tweaks for some decor stuff and label my storage so I know what's actually in all those bins, and then try and keep it tidy, which is probably my biggest challenge.